like last week.
All right, welcome everyone. So this is episode 2 of Alea's Keening. Tyler will be joining us shortly. He's just still on his way home. And we have a new character, Maria, that'll be joining us next week, but we have her set up in the OBS already, so everyone can see her. Yeah, so we're going to get started in just a second. I think the first order of business is for some mysterious mail that Johnny's received. And he's a little bit confused about what that is, perhaps. So Johnny has received a message from someone he knows on a small station. I want to say Illich, but that's not the right one.
Garcia,
yes. I was just looking that up. I was like, why can I not think of the right station? He's received a message from someone on Garcia Station. It's a small commercial station, one of hundreds throughout the belt. And it is very cryptically worded. And Mark, if you want to go ahead and read it out.
Sure, yeah. Guys, I got this letter here from a friend of mine over on Garcia. It says, hi Johnny. Just wanted to let you know that the local weather here on Garcia Station is a little cloudy. The locals are really worked up and definitely moving around the station because of the weather. You may want to avoid the station for a few months until this unprecedented weather situation starts to die down. Harper.
Hey, Johnny, I have a question.
Yeah.
How much you had to drink, buddy?
A little bit.
Yeah. Why do you think I give a fuck about your friend's letter?
I mean, this is obviously a little bit mild code. I don't think the weather's actually bad on the station since it doesn't have weather. The fucking station. So settle your horses down, and we gotta not go there under any circumstances for the next few months until I hear word that it's okay. I'm not sure what exactly is going on, but it's not good for us to be there right now. So you're welcome.
I think we should just focus on this current job before we worry about any other fuckery anywhere else.
Sure.
And Luna just stares at everyone. Luna like. Kind of want to have a blink jar, and we just put a quarter in for every time Jen blinks. I feel like we might rack up $2 by the end of the session. All right. So our crew, Johnny, Drake, Luna, and Tyler, or Dreg, who will be joining us in a bit, they are on the Melampus. It has left Palace Station. They've been hired by someone from the criminal underworld on Palace by the name of Sade to travel to Kelso Station. At Kelso Station, they're going to be able to broker a deal for some sort of goods. Those goods were explicitly not shared with the crew. They asked and were told, none of your business. You are just the couriers. They're traveling with Aisha, one of Said's erstwhile henchmen, who is handling the money side of business, while our crew will handle the actual work side of things. The trip is taking about 12 days. So before they get to Kelso Station, are you guys going to be doing anything during that interlude? And just because you guys are new, interludes are essentially going to be a non-structured section where, you guys are waiting around. You're on a ship traveling somewhere, you're on a station waiting, something like that, where we're not going to sit here and role play out 12 days of travel because that's tedious and boring. So it's a chance for you to say, instead of really getting into role playing, instead it's a chance for you to say, hey, during those 12 days, my character is going to practice this or work on this or repair that. So this is a chance for you guys to do any of that. So on this journey to Kelso Station, are you guys doing anything like that? Start with Jen.
I'll use this time to continue looking into all of the people that I'm on this mission with to see if there's anything I need to know about them, as well as the people we're going to.
Okay. So you guys didn't get any names of who you're meeting. So you didn't ask, and it wasn't volunteer. And I actually went back and checked the video to be sure of that, because I was going to surrender that information, but you guys didn't ask. So you don't have that. So I wanted to be 100% sure on that. So you don't know who you're going to go meet. You know from what you were told that you're going to meet someone to prove that you can provide the credits for the deal, and that's going to be the first step. Once that's taken care of, that person will organize the actual meet where you'll go and meet another person, or probably people, to take possession of the actual cargo or product. So you know it's going to be a two-step process, but you have no idea who you're going to go meet there. So in terms of the people that you're with, are you logged into Forge yet? Yes, you are.
Yes.
Correct. All right. Let's have you roll 3 intelligence investigation rolls. The target number for all of them, there's going to actually be like 3 different target numbers, and you'll get different information depending on what it is. So the first roll will be for Drake, the second one will be for Johnny, and the last one will be for Dreg.
It shows that the game is paused.
Oh, yep. There we go. Holy shit. All right. So you look into Drake, and you've got 12 days. So you're spending, how much of that time are you spending investigating them?
Almost the entire time.
So you're really digging into these people. Okay. All right. So you really dig into Drake's identity. And the one thing that you notice is that there's kind of 2 parts to his identity, kind of a before and an after. The before, for some reason, just doesn't have much details. Either wherever he was raised, whatever happened there, it was really kept secret, or there really wasn't much to his life. Very sparse details through his childhood, teenage years, and into his 20s. What you do find is that he was born on Earth. He has a father who's alive and a mother who's passed away. He has 7 siblings. And he left Earth when he was 23. He got a placement with a shipping and freighter company as a security officer. So he got a chance to move off of Earth and out into the belt. It looks like he worked for that company for a couple of years before there was some sort of incident and he was fired and literally tossed off the ship on a tiny station called, we had named this, so what is the name here? You'll like this one, Jacob. Austin Station. Not the most creative, but hey. So he was essentially just tossed off the ship on Austin Station, and they left. They just did no money, nothing, as far as you can tell. Like whatever he did, he's probably lucky to either not be in jail or dead. Instead, they just left him, in the belt on his own with nothing. From there, what you can tell is that he's been kind of around the belt. He was part of a crew on a ship called the Anarchy. That's Ananke. And it's a small converted freighter that would run, like, by official records, courier and shipping. But you looking at the records, you suspect that there was probably a fair amount of smuggling or some sort of other illegal actions involved. But it moved around the belt, covering, going to different stations, small stations, large stations. At some point, the captain of the ship was reported deceased, and it looks like Drake took over captaining the ship. But what you can't find is any sort of change of ownership in for that time. Essentially, the ship was he just kind of took over, as far as you can tell, and just started doing the same thing with the ship. And that doesn't surprise you, because a few years later, you find that the two children for the captain had filed a lawsuit in court for ownership of the ship, looking to have it repossessed. And it was. And Drake then spent several months on a couple of like really shitty stations like Eros. You see a couple of drunk and disorderly charges were levied against them. And if you're getting a drunk and disorderly on a place like Eros, you're probably shit-faced most days of the week, and you've really gone out of your way to earn that charge, because Eros is like literally just a real kind of, dive station. Eros, because I think all you guys at this point have only read or watched the show and not read the books. The books give a little more context here. Eros was the first kind of asteroid-based station. It was the first station Tycho Engineering spun up. And the Eros, the asteroid, actually has a weird orbit where at its closest, it's actually really close to Earth. And then at its furthest, it's past Mars. So it has this weird orbit where it goes in and out of the inner planets. It's not actually really part of the belt, even though it gets lumped in with the belt because of its situation. And once Tycho's engineering platform was up and running, once Ceres was spun up, and once more places on the belt like Ganymede and Callisto and stuff like that were settled, Eros became a not very compelling port. Most of the traffic, commercial traffic in the Expanse doesn't go to Eros. So, for example, Ceres at any given time has 1 million people on it that are just the crew from ships that are going in and out of the port. The dock fees at Ceres are very expensive because people are looking to come to Ceres. So if you dock at Ceres, you're going to rack up dock fees pretty quickly. Eros, on the other hand, is where you go when you don't have a job lined up or you want to have downtime. It's cheap, the ports aren't busy, and it's basically full of cheap casinos, cheap hotels, and cheap bars. So if you want to go and just be drunk for a while, that's Eros. So essentially, on a given night, half of the Eros population is probably absolutely drunk out of their mind or in a brothel or both. So anyone who's getting drunk and disorderly charges on Eros is going out of their way to really get drunk and really have issues. Horace is like, Luna trusts no one. 100% Horace. Luna trusts no one. I don't think Luna trusts herself. And then, you see that he's had a few jobs, or probably a few jobs, because he's traveled off Eros a couple of times, but hasn't really stayed off Eros. He's traveled off and then returned. So as far as you can tell, he's probably wallowing in self-pity or in depression or didn't know what to do with his life or just wanted to take a couple of years off work and get really drunk for a while, something like that. And his last port before he came to Palace was Eros. All right, so that's Drake. We said the second role was for Johnny, right? I think that's what I said. It was Johnny. It was Drake, Johnny, and then Tyler for the roles.
Yeah.
Okay. So you dig into Johnny, and Johnny seems to have a relatively straightforward history. He grew up on Earth. He left. Roughly how old was he when he left, Mark?
He was around 35.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that's the case, but I was double checking. Yeah. So he was around 35 when he finally got a job offer to work logistics for a shipping company and get off Earth. He worked with that company for a little while before, kind of like Drake's. He left, or there was a falling out of some sort, and he ended up on his own. From what you can tell, he's less traveled than Drake. He seems to kind of favor a few stations, and from what you can tell, his name is involved in a lot of different shipping contracts, and like freight related stuff. It seems that he's continued his work in logistics and organizing things. As far as you can tell, there's nothing particularly interesting about his history or his activities since he left his original job. He clearly hasn't crewed up with a ship or a company or anything like that. He's definitely working independent, but other than that, it just looks like he handles setting up contracts and stuff for smaller companies. And then Dreg. So Dreg grew up on, let me double check. I want to say Callisto, but I'm pretty sure I'm confusing him with you. Hygeia, yeah. So Tyler grew up on Hygeia, and he was the son of a miner. Looks like he was doing some of that in his teenage years. You don't really know you can't really find much on his mother. You're not sure what's going on there. And then it looks like in his early 20s, something happened with him that he just left Hygeia out. He just walked away. And you're not really sure what. There's not really anything that jumps out at you that would explain why he just up and left. But just one day he was there. One day he was gone. Since then, he's taken small jobs around the belt. He seems to be continuing on the move. He hasn't really doesn't look like he's really settled roots down. He's just moving around to different jobs, different ships, different stations, taking work as he goes. There's not really like it feels like there's something going on there, but you can't really put your finger on it. There's certainly nothing that indicates any particular issues or problems or intent or anything like that. He's just traveling around the belt.
Good to know.
Okay. Yeah, when we're above the table, you can let Jen out. It might help you though.
Dude, it's really hard.
I know. All right. So, anything else you want to do on your interlude, or is that mostly it?
That's it.
Okay, cool. Mark.
I'm just gonna be pacing about mostly,
Okay.
thinking to myself of various potential outcomes and things that we might run into, and kind of maybe actually, maybe I could do some more poking around in the cargo hold and see if I
Okay.
can sneak away to like kind of get a little bit better now that we're pretty much alone on the ship, right? We have or is that we have an escort though, right?
You have you have the captain of the ship, and you have Aisha, but they're not going to be able to constantly watch what you guys are up to.
Yeah. I think I'll kind of try and see whenever I get a chance to. I'm gonna kind of try and check more into the cargo and things that are on the ship. Maybe see if there's anything like identifying marks, or if I can get any background towards it.
Okay.
Maybe,
so you're targeting specifically the gear that you found.
Yeah, that gear that I found.
Okay.
Soon.
All right. So, you wait through the first day and into the second before you find what seems to be a nice gap where it looks like both Aisha and the captain have gone to their racks and will be there for a while. And you go to sneak in, and you immediately find that the door is now locked. With the digital locks, you're not going to be able to just walk through.
That's unfortunate.
Do you want to try to bypass those?
Yeah, I think I would. I'd like to take a stab at bypassing that.
Okay. You're going to do. Just double check. It's going to be engineering. It's going to be. I'm sure it's going to be hacking, but I just haven't memorized all of the focuses yet. Intelligence hacking, and it's going to be against an 18.
All right. Here goes nothing. That is not quite very good.
No. So you spend a little bit of time with it. You work at it. You think you're making a little bit of progress, but ultimately you're not able to unlock the doors. And then we'll say that you wait a couple more days. Are you going to try again, or how are you going to handle that?
I think that maybe if I have another opportunity, I might try again.
Okay, so you wait a couple more days.
I'm guessing
probably about 3 days, and then you get another chance at the door. Because you've already failed, we're going to say that this time it's going to be a target number of 19. So we're just going to keep going up.
Yeah. All right. We're going to not very good at this. That's worse.
Okay.
All right. He's definitely going to scratch his beard a bit and try to think about another way of going at this.
Okay.
Would there be any cameras on the inside of the cargo holds at all? Like something that might be accessible from like the bridge or anything like that? Or
You don't remember seeing any sort of cameras there, but given that this is clearly protected gear and that that you were warned to stay away from it, there's probably something in place. So yeah, you can take a look at the bridge, and you can do on the bridge. You can just do. It won't be hacking. It'll just be. Intelligence research against 14 to see what kind of monitoring methods are in place. So you spend some time looking through the systems, and by the time you're done, you're sure that the only thing monitoring this crate is a camera in the hallway and to the door. So you know that you're now on, from your previous attempts, you're on camera trying to access the door. But you also find it's not too hard to delete it. The problem is there's only so many people who would delete it. So if you delete it and they look, it's obviously going to draw attention to yourself or Drake or Luna or Dreg. So the question is, do you want to delete it or leave it?
No, I think I'll leave it, and instead, can I tell are there any other cameras pointed at any of the other cargo holds?
It's so the camera points at all of them because it's that hallway that runs down from the bridge and crew quarters to engineering, and so the access hatches, all the cargoes are off of that hallway. So what you can see is that the camera, either intentionally or accidentally, is looking more towards that particular door than the others. But that could just be where it was mounted and pure luck, or it could be intentional.
All right, sounds good. And then so I've spent a few days on this. I've got a few more to kind of do some more things a little bit, or not so much.
Yeah, I mean, we'll say that you got about 7 days left.
All right. Well, this time around, I'm gonna try and focus more on the people on the ship here, and kind of now at this point, I'm assuming that I may get caught. So Johnny's thinking to himself that it might be better to just talk about it, so that he has a somewhat more valid excuse to why he was trying to get in over there. So kind of trying next time when we get a chance, maybe if I'm at the, I'll try to make it so that we're in the mess hall eating together with the captain, and just say, hey, I noticed I was doing a run through on the ship, and I noticed that there's some pretty tight security on one of the holds. What's going on? I like to know that I'm on a good, safe ship, and there's no surprises.
Okay. I am going
kind
to
of try and get some information out of him if I can.
Yeah. So give me half a second. All right. So I'm going to have you make a communications deception roll, and we're going to do it against the captain's perception. Perception, intuition. So go ahead and make an communications deception roll.
I got an 18 there, and 3 stunt points.
Oh, nice. Oh, I rolled twice, I think. We will take the first roll, whatever that is. So that's a 7. All right. You probably don't need or want to use a stunt there, but do you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Do the stunt points just disappear after if you choose not to use them, or do they accumulate in some way, or no?
They don't accumulate. In turn based, it's for the whole. They go away at the end of the turn. In something like this, it's a little more flexible because we're not doing turn by turn, but like essentially they are good for this interaction.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the captain is like, Sasa, yeah, we sometimes carry some valuable stuff, so we need to protect it. Why are you poking around the ship?
Force of habit. I've been a logistics engineer for a long while here. That's kind of just my usual thing. I hop on a ship. I make sure I look at everything, make sure things are tied down so we have less breakage. Make sure I take an inventory stock of things, so I make sure nothing gets snatched up. It's just something that I do every time I board a vessel.
You're a good man to have around, I guess, Koyo.
Hey,
Yeah.
We're on this together. We're in this together, right?
As long as the pay is there, yeah.
That's for damn sure. These guys
So,
pay pretty well, I think.
Yeah. So he doesn't seem to really have any idea that you're trying to fish for information. So after that little exchange, he's like, yeah, we just have a few weapons in that crate, a little something for some self-defense. If we need them, we'll let you know.
Good to know.
And you don't even need to obviously make an intelligence roll to know that he's lying. Because
tell the truth or lying. Yeah,
you've seen that they have far more than just a couple of weapons in there. They have literally an assault package. So
yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to do, or?
No, I think for the rest of the time I'll be sitting around just flipping my coin.
Okay. Awesome. So Jacob, what is Drake up to?
Yeah. So I mean, between reading the history books and the latest astrological charts, he's going to generally be meandering around the ship looking for somebody to spar with. See if there's anybody on the ship that also has a passion for the martial arts or any other sport of the kind.
Okay, well, it's so the whole crew complement right now is the 4 of you,
Yep.
the captain, and Aisha. And the captain, when you go to talk to him, he just lets out the biggest belly laugh. He's like, Koyo, I'm way too old to do that. Aren't you too old too? You almost a pom-pom, man.
Never too old to wrestle.
He's like, well, not with me, sorry.
All right.
And so do you want to approach Aisha? You guys had a little bit of a tense confrontation last time.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay. So you go up to her. She's in the galley one day.
All right, I'm just gonna just sit down. How's it going?
She was like in the middle of eating. She's eating some traditional like red kibble, which is like a spicy belter food. And she was like halfway into like taking a bite of it when you sit down, and she just like she doesn't lift her head because she was like looking down at her food and her terminal that was in the other hand, and she was like, thumbing through something on that while she was eating. And when you sit down, she just kind of pauses, the spoon just like staying there. She stops thumbing through the terminal. She doesn't lift her head. She just lifts her eyes and she's like, I'm eating.
I can see that. So this is the thing. I'm looking for somebody to just spar with, practice with. If I go too long, the skills get rusty, and then when I need them, they're just not going to be there. And I don't know. You seem like you might have some anger to take out on somebody.
So she just have this little sigh, like, oh my God. Like you can tell, like she just doesn't not really want to engage with you. She lowers the spoon down. She sets her terminal down. And in this like kind of non-threatening way, like she's not reaching for it fast or anything like that. But in this non-threatening way, she grabs her gun, and you can even see like she's not really grabbing it around the handle and the grip. She's clearly not like drawing on you, or if she's going to draw on you, she's really trying to fake you out before she does. But she draws the gun up, and assuming you don't do anything else, she puts it on the table, and she gives it like an almost loving pat, like like it's her best friend, right? She's like, "This is what I spar with. Do you want to spar with this, Koyo?" Now, you would know that one, she probably has non-lethal plastic rounds in the weapon. And again, just as a kind of an above the table deal, the difference between the books and the show is they do talk about some of the different ammunition. In the show, they just have guns. In the book, they talk about the fact that, hey, having a weapon that shoots a metal slug that can punch a hole in the hull is probably not a good thing, right? So you have plastic rounds for like on ship combat and stuff like that, so that you're not killing yourself shooting weapons. And again, as we talked about last time, in some cases you have self-propelled ammunition for 0G stuff. So chances are that this is a plastic round. It still can be lethal. It's more than like say a sandbag round from today, but it's less than a true bullet. Depending on where it hits you, it's going to hurt a lot. It's always going to puncture skin if you're not wearing armor or like super thick clothes. But it's going to be a little less lethal than bullets, but probably generally the same kind of stopping effect because of pain. So you don't want her to shoot you with this. There are weapons and ammunition for training, essentially weapons that don't fire anything. They're the equivalent of like a video game gun that will do like a hit registry kind of laser tag kind of deal, but more robust and more accurate. So that's how you would that's how like people with money and or equipment would train if they wanted to.
I kind of get close to it. I'm like looking for more of the hand-to-hand style. But yeah, don't get any ideas about shooting me with that.
She laughs, which is actually the first time she's laughed talking to you, or probably in general, as far as you can tell. But it's almost a humorless laugh. Like there's the slightest bit of amusement to it, and a little bit of like annoyance at the same time. So it's a little bit of both. And she's like, I have already thought about shooting you with this a bunch of times. And she pulls it off the table and she's holstering it. As she holsters it, she's like, now, Pampa, stop flirting with me and go away.
Oh, if I was flirting with you, you'd know it. But I'll let you get back to your food, and I'll just kind of saunter on off.
Okay. So then the only other two people that you could approach on the ship would be, or three people, sorry, would be Johnny, Luna, and Dreg.
Yeah, I mean, I'll hit them up. I don't think Johnny's gonna necessarily be up for it, but we'll see.
So we don't need to really role play this. We're just kind of like for Jen and for Mark. Would your characters want to do any sparring?
I'll offer a thumb wrestling match.
Nice.
That's about what I expected from Johnny.
Does it look like I waste my time with that? I have better
I
things to
don't
do.
particularly know what you waste your time with. I'm just trying to find somebody willing to beat me up and me to be able to beat them up.
Okay. And then Alex isn't here, so we'll. I feel like he would probably do it, but we won't speak for him.
All right.
So, all right. So that's kind of the general stuff. Anyone want to do anything else before you arrive at Kelso Station?
No, I'm gonna just check my survival gear and other equipment. Sure, it's
As
all in
an
order.
Okay. All right. As a note, Mark, you would be aware that Luna has some sort of electronics warfare, engineering skill set.
Okay.
That was talked about briefly at the previous meeting. So you don't really know much about her or what her exact skill set is, but maybe there's something there if you wanted to talk to her.
Yeah. I'd kind of go up to her and kind of go up to Luna and just spark up a minor conversation and see if I can get her to open
All
up a
right.
little bit more
Go
about
ahead.
things. Hey Luna, I'd had something. You're pretty good with electronics. I wager.
Keen observation.
You know, I'm about as sharp as the next one, but you any good with locks?
Matters. Which one are you looking at?
Yeah. There's something new on the ship. I noticed when I was checking things around, there weren't any locks on any of the cargo holds, but now there's a lock on one, and it looks a little bit out of my depth. Some digital lock pad.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
have
I don't know what the hell.
Johnny make a communications deception and Luna make a perception intuition roll. All right. So Jen, your character gets the sense that Johnny's just the inkling that Johnny might not be telling the truth. But it's just like the littlest inkling. You're not really sure. It's more like maybe he's leaving something out or something. It's just this little bit of feeling. That's all.
Johnny, do not waste my time if you're not going to tell me everything. I have a hunch that you're not. And why do you want to get in there?
I mean, I've told you pretty much all that I know for sure. But there's a chance, we're on the shuttle here. There's a chance we might need to get in there, and it might be important. I'm not really sure. I don't have a lot more to offer you, but
So you're going to
like I
continue
said,
that. So
I mean, I guess maybe no. I think. All right, listen here. Let me just be straight with you. You can see something here. I was in there before everybody came on board the ship when we were all doing our thing, looking around. I actually went in all of there, and there was a goddamn fucking arsenal in there. All right, there's freaking weapons meant for like mass destruction in space, and they have no business being on this fucking ship. All right, so if we need to get in there, can you get us in there? Because I don't know what the fuck's going on here, but that shit's not supposed to be. It shouldn't be there. It's expensive. It's black ops shit. Something is fishy.
So just to be clear, it's not Black Ops.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Then I didn't say that, but I did say it's
like hardcore.
Some dangerous stuff. It's
So like just so everyone's kind of on the same page, right? You have like Belters don't have access to power armor, which is like the effectively the Navy SEALs of Earth and Mars. They are the best of the best. There's a small amount of them, and they'll wear these augmented power armor. So it's like a full suit of like metal and ceramic armor. It's got high levels of radiation protection, so you could, like, if you're wearing it, you could walk through like the site of a nuclear explosion. You have weapons on the arms. You have little mini missiles in the back that you can launch. All of this stuff, right? Super tough rating, or super tough armor. The Martian Marines call them coffins because if something kills you in it, you've sustained enough force that you're a liquid. So the joke is they'll just bury you in your suit rather than opening it because there's no point. Then the next kind of step down is your kind of like, let's call them your Rangers or like that level, right? Or Marines, which are a large group of people that can fight in ship-to-ship combat, in zero-G, in low gravity. They'll wear armor that's relatively effective. It's protective against elements. It doesn't have the same level of protection as the power armor. It doesn't have the same radioactive protection as the power armor, and it has no built-in weapons. It's serious stuff. Even Belters have it. It is expensive. It's not. It could be used for Black Ops, but it's definitely just common, higher end armor for combat. It's certainly not something that the average person has. And then you also found weapons that would be equivalent to that. Definitely weapons that are above the normal course. Okay, so just with that information, so just kind of everyone's on the same page.
So these are things that Belters could, but most likely would not have access to.
They would have limited access to.
Yeah.
And think of it too in true Belter fashion. UN Marines, Martian Marines who wear this, it's going to be like their gear is going to be pristine, right? At least at the start of any kind of combat, their gear is going to be in great shape. There's not going to be dings and scratches and repairs. Belter stuff is patched up and repaired as needed. So, the armor you saw wasn't new. It wasn't pristine. It had been used. There was patches and scratches and stuff like that. So, it's armor in that kind of Belter fashion.
All right, I was thinking it was the super power suit things.
No, sorry, no.
I made a mistake of that for some reason. Yeah, I was like, we should, because I would just over the table again here, just for my personal clarity, like if we were to get caught with having like power suits, would that be like that would be a big problem, right?
I mean, it depends who catches you. If the UN or Mars catch you, you probably have stolen their stuff, and they're probably going to be pissed. But the other factor too is like it's heavily guarded, so to get access to it is pretty tough, and to use it effectively is also super tough. It's highly sensitive to use, so like if you're just jump into it and start using it, you're going to be like smashing into things. You're going to be, you go near someone, you're going to accidentally punch them and like, literally punch their head off, or like punch through their chest and be like, oh, sorry, I meant to shake your hand. That didn't go well.
Oh God.
Things like that. You want to push a door open, instead you shove it. You literally explode it off the hinges and push it through 3 walls. beyond, that kind of thing. So
Yeah. All right, so I'll tone it down a little bit then there on it. So Luna. So I mean, these. I'm just saying this cargo hold that they've locked up here. It's a little bit more equipment than I would expect for your run of the mill milk run that we're supposed to be on getting stuff. So if we need to get in there, is there a chance you could get us in there?
If needed, yes. But do know that now that I know you've been snooping, now I know who to go for some answers. Yes, I can go.
All right then. Well, thank you very much, and you continue the rest of the day doing what you do best. Catch you later.
okay, so I think at that point everyone's good with things they're doing on the way to Kelso, or no? Last chance, going once, going twice. All right. So, like we said, it's about a 12.5-day journey. So, just into the 7th day, the Melampus does its flip and starts its deceleration burn. So you guys maintain a 0.3 G thrust gravity the whole way, and you slow down over the next few days until you arrive at Kelso Station. Now, Kelso Station is located on the asteroid Mathild. So it's in the main asteroid, along with like Ceres and Pallas and stuff like that. It did have its own kind of spin gravity, artificial gravity of just over 0.1 before it was spun up, and it was actually colonized prior to being spun up. So there's actually 2 surface stations, dome-based surface stations, similar to what you would see on like Luna with Lowell City or whatever. And those stations are still on the surface. They've been abandoned, so they're no pressure, no one living in them, in disrepair. There's no air inside of them, etc. But the structures are still there. And then the actual asteroid has seen internal expansion and development to build ports and a city inside of the actual asteroid. It's a hub of manufacturing, so it produces some of the key electronics and tools for belters. And the tools and products that are made on Kelso are sold everywhere from Eros to Titan to Ipetus. So they're the belt and the outer planets and everything like that. So as you guys, if you want to be space tourists and get on the scope as you come in, you'll see the surface of the asteroid coming closer, and then you'll see the surface. You'll see the ship pass one of the abandoned stations before it goes, engine side into the port and docks. And once you have a hard seal, you are free to enter the station. Now, you guys will be at the station 5 days. I have a note down here. 4 days before the actual meeting. So once you guys have the docks, the connection set, Aisha goes to you guys and says, she's like, you guys can fuck off or stay here for the next 4 days, whatever you want. But be ready in 4 days for our meeting. We're going to be meeting at the New Fairmont Kelso Hotel and Casino. And she just kind of waves you off. Like, go do what you want. So I guess you guys want to do anything on Kelso Station, buy anything, meet anyone, get drunk, gamble, get Luna to smile, anything like that? Or are you just going to stay on the ship for the duration? What are your plans?
Try some gambling.
Okay. All right. So the New Fairmont Kelso Hotel and Casino it's like an upper class, especially for Kelso Station. So you're probably not going to want to go there unless you're scoping out the casino for the sake of your later meet. So I guess that's the number one question. Are you going to use this to gamble and to scope out the meet, or are you simply just going to go gamble?
No, I'll definitely recon while I'm there.
Okay. All right.
Try to be all sneaky. Little,
Okay, so I'm going with
over.
Drake.
No,
Johnny?
Luna is going to see if she can find any contacts about her son.
Okay. Johnny?
I'm gonna go with Drake.
Okay. All right.
Get that bag, Johnny.
All right. So let's.
Can I? Oh, 1 second. Is there, like, would I be able to send a message from the ship to like a friend of mine or something on station?
Yeah. So you can. So generally speaking, anytime you want, you can use your terminal to send a message, provided that the ship that you're on or the station you're on isn't actively blocking you. Now on the Melampus,
Okay.
they weren't actively blocking you, so you had access to messages. They weren't letting you tight beam. So tight beam is like a precision message to one location, so it can't be intercepted. A general transmission would just go out over the normal net and could potentially be picked up by malicious foes who want to read your mail, but everything is typically encrypted and stuff like that, and it's normal just to send normal messages out over the normal broadcast system.
Okay. Good to know. So I could be from my terminal. I could just be like, as we're walking to the thing, I could shoot a message to say like, I don't know, like ginseng, or no, I'm sorry, to like Nassim Ba. Just say like, hey, in town for a few. About to head over to the casino and have a cocktail with some friends. If you're around.
Okay. So you send the message. There's no immediate reply, so you don't know if he got it or if he's coming or whatever. As you and Drake are walking through the station, I want you both to make a flat perception roll. Jacob?
I didn't know I was also doing the roll.
Yep. Both of you are as you're walking through the station.
You said a flat perception roll?
Yep.
There's a perception roll. Here we go. Not
right.
great.
Yeah. So as you're walking through the station, Johnny, there's a moment where it's almost like deja vu, or almost like a little bit of ice sliding down your spine, or something like that. And you don't know exactly what caused it. Like there was just something, like some sort of flash from your past, and you're like, I don't know what that was. I saw something or heard something, and it just triggered your memories, but you couldn't quite place it.
Got it. I'll tap Drake on the shoulder as we're walking and just kind of say something doesn't feel right. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but
I keep telling you
just
to take a break from the drinks and like maybe pop an ibuprofen or two. You're getting old, man.
Yeah, man. Haven't been drinking this morning yet. Something's up. I don't know what, but just keep your head up.
All right.
You're pretty much always ready anyway, so I guess.
Hey,
Drake trigger
It's
finger
only-
next.
It's only paranoia until you're prepared. All right.
That's the thing I love about you most. I really, it helps. It's helpful in situations like these.
Okay. Awesome.
Let's go get a drink, bud.
All right. So you guys continue on to the casino?
Yep.
Okay. So as you guys are walking along and as Luna's entering the station, at some point you guys pass some of the different terminals and catch some of the news feeds that are going on. And, instantly you're bored by Monica Stewart talking about how there's increased grain harvests in the West African Shared Interest Zone. Like, hey, it's great for some people on Earth who want to eat some bread, but, it doesn't do anything for us. And the Zara, the Belter, is talking about increased taxes and increased security lockdowns on, I know it says this as Village Station, but on Garcia Station, just pretend that says Garcia. And so she's talking about how there's protests from the population there over what's going on. And Mars is upset because apparently one of their ships was sabotaged at Alcatraz Station and needed to take an extra day for some repairs before they could leave. It seems overblown because nothing blew up and nothing died as far as you can tell. They just need to, replace a pipe or something like that, and they're really upset. All right.
Good to know.
So, I should go to Luna first before we go to the gentleman at the bar or at the casino. So, Luna, you said, is going to be trying to talk to someone about her son. Sorry, what was
Find out more information about him and his grandparents to see what she can do to start seeing if she can make contact with him.
Okay. So,
She's
like,
very early on in the process.
right, but she's already reached out and he's already just declined to contact her.
Doesn't mean she'll never stop trying.
Okay. So, like, so she can try to contact him directly or the grandparents directly anytime she wants. Is she trying to do that, or what's she trying to do?
Get to know his friends or people around him that she can see if she can gain insight on to have influence there to be able to contact him.
Okay. So she's trying to find some sort of friend with him.
Yeah.
And you're trying to do that through a contact at Kelso Station or directly yourself?
Through a contact, if she can see if she can find anybody that might know of them.
Okay. All right. Just checking what we had set up for you. Okay. So, she doesn't directly know anyone on Kelso Station. So, how is she trying to do this? Is she just trying to find someone for like a private investigation hire contract, or is she, what kind of person is she just trying to find on the station? Because there's thousands of people. So how's she going about this?
To see if there's a private investigator or other people that she might be able to see any chatter. Maybe.
Okay. All right.
So I don't know. I don't know what my character does.
Yeah. Well, no, and it also throws me for a little bit because we had set up something and you're kind of changing it a little bit. So I'm like,
No, it's because
you
I don't
have
know
to.
what to like think of. So
Right, but I mean, last we had talked, your character was kind of resigned to her
yeah,
son
yeah.
not contacting
So
her. So,
we could just like say she's not doing anything. She's just being
well,
mean to
I'm fine with doing it. I'm just caught off guard, so I got to kind of figure it out as we go. So there's certainly going to be private investigators on the station that you can hire. The question is, will they do the work and how much will they charge? So yeah, let's are you just going to pick one at random? Are you going to try to find one that's well rated? Are you going to try to find one that's maybe poorly rated so they're cheaper? Like, flip open the virtual phone book and find the first one that your finger lands on.
Since knowing a few people around, not as exactly on this here, I would want to start just putting out feelers to see who is not as well known because they're so good at their job.
Okay. I mean, as a private investigator, they would the ones who are good make it well known that they're good.
Okay, we're gonna hire one of them.
Okay. All right. So, you find yourself at the office of. Give me one sec, because I don't have my names up. You're going to find yourself at the offices of Christopher Park. And so what taking a look at some of the different private investigators on there, on the station, you find that it's pretty easy for you to find that this guy is well regarded, not just on the station, but off the station. He's definitely very good at finding information, at finding people, at bringing like lost kids home, kids who've run away from home, arranging for like, he's had a couple of situations where people have been taken hostage and he's negotiated the release for fees and things like that. So he's very well regarded in terms of doing his job, and being able to get the information you're looking for. So it's pretty clear that this guy can handle that. Or this person, I should say. So you walk into the office, and it's a small, nondescript office, smaller than the average kind of like belt station offices. He's definitely not, or she's definitely not spending much money. There's a small room, single desk. There's a woman behind the desk, and then at the far side of the room, there's a door that you would think would lead to the office of the actual PI. You think that this person in front of you is probably like a receptionist or administrator of some sort. And then the person in front of you, one sec. So this person in front of you is actually quite young, which is another reason you think this person is probably an administrator. So this is a young Asian woman. Looks like she might have Korean or Japanese heritage. She has short hair. It's dyed actually red and silver, and it's kind of like swept over her head and kind of hanging down on the side. She's wearing a gray jumpsuit with red collars and trim. And she looks up at you and she gives you this big smile. And she's like, "Yes, can I help you?"
Hi, I would like assistance with getting in connection with my son. Could you or the PI be able to help me with this?
And her smile gets a little bit bigger, and she's like, yeah, I can help you. Chris Park. She like holds out her hand.
Hmm, not what I was expecting. You're Chris.
I am, yeah. She's kind of leaving her hand there, waiting for you to like either shake it or do something.
Luna shakes her hand and says, I kind of like it better that I didn't expect you.
I mean, sometimes it helps. People don't see me coming. So she kind of like gestures for you to come to the door at the back. She opens it, and there's like a little office in there. It's basically the same as the front room, except across from the desk, there's actually 2 chairs for you to sit in, instead of it just being like an open reception area. And she kind of like gestures you to go through and have a seat. And after she does that, she goes and she closes the front door and unlocks it, and then comes back and sits down across at the main chair on the far side of the desk.
I'd rather stand. And
Look, I don't want to have a kink in my neck looking up at you. Have a seat. It's not a big deal.
no, thank you. I'm looking to get into contact with my
I'm
son.
not looking to deal with someone who's too stubborn. Have a seat, please.
Luna sits knowing that she needs to make friends with this person to be able to find her son and actually talk to her son. She sits.
Yeah. And, yeah. Above the table, just to be super clear, like finding your son is not the problem.
I know. I keep saying
Okay.
find my son,
Okay.
and then I keep trying
just
to
want to be clear on that.
yeah, and then I keep trying to like correct it with communicate.
Yeah. Just
So it
making
might
sure
take
we're clear. Okay. No worries then. So she's like, once you sit, she's like, oh, that's so much better on my neck. Thank you. So your son's missing or what? What's going on?
he thinks he won't talk to me, and he never has. His grandparents have manipulated him without all of the details, and he won't know it until I can talk to him and actually fill him in on what actually happened.
Okay. And I imagine you sent him some messages and he didn't read them, didn't listen to them.
Correct. Or he never received them thanks to his grandparents. More likely, he ignored them or never replied. And I would like to be able to find out more about his life to see if there's someone or somehow I can have someone bridge the gap.
Okay. How old is your son?
He would be turning 24 this year
Okay. And where does he live?
on Mars.
Okay. All right. So he's on Mars. I mean, we can, hand deliver a message to him. That's not a problem. Is that what you're looking for, or do you want something more? Like, do you want him? And she kind of hesitates for a second. She's like, turns her head a little bit, and almost quietly says, "Kidnapped and brought to you."
Can that be done?
I mean, it depends how much money you have. Especially off Mars, that's going to be hard.
Not that extreme yet.
Oh,
And
okay.
not yet hand deliver a message. I want to know about his life.
Okay.
Since I haven't been able to raise him and haven't had much contact with him, I would like to know more about what his values are, what his
Okay.
interests are.
So I think what we're looking for is 2 different services then. You want like an info pack on your son And you want a hand-delivered message?
Afterwards, yes.
Afterwards. Okay, so you want one and then the other. Okay. So Mars makes it a little harder, obviously, because it's Mars and it's not the belt. But I have some contacts on Mars. So hand delivering the message isn't a problem. Putting together an info package depends kind of on how careful he is about hiding what he's doing and where he's living. But generally, that's not a problem. People have to be pretty paranoid for us not to get info on them. It's going to take a couple of weeks for the info package, though, to do it right. Is that a problem?
Above table, because I'm new at this, but how much money do I actually have? Because I don't know. And also, is it the type of thing that I can at least message with them afterwards, or do I still have
Yeah.
to be in the
I
ship?
mean, it's like in this universe, much of the legal things can be handled by messages.
Okay.
Right? Like by nature, much of the time people are doing business when they're not in the same physical location.
Okay.
The need for face-to-face meetings is for the gray market, black market, illegal things. So like if you're just hiring a private investigator to get you an info package, it'll be essentially like you have effectively like an email, like the message you got that I sent your character today. You'll get an info dump like that. And then you can message back and forth and so on. So, you don't have to wait around Kelso for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks or whatever it takes.
Cool. And how much money do I have?
So the way we do it in this is it's you have an income score, and I didn't think we would need to worry about it so much so soon. You guys are throwing me for all the loops in this session, which is awesome.
Well,
Not
then
upset about that at all.
What I'll
but
do is don't worry about it. I will just say.
Well, no. Let me explain the way income works. So income works. You have a score, and then you essentially, if something is expensive, kind of outside of your income score, you roll to see if you can afford it, and then you can go into like a depleted income state where you can't do any more. So we can definitely do that today. I guess the biggest question is, given Luna's age and work history, did she save up a decent amount of her money, or did she kind of burn it on things?
She saved.
So she got some saved. Okay, so that's not a problem then. All right, so yeah, no problem doing the income stuff. Go ahead and role play the answer to Christopher's question.
All right, Chris. Yes, I would like both, and a few weeks is fine. We'll be in touch.
Okay. All right. So she kind of like taps away on her console for a little bit, her terminal for a little bit, and then she holds hers out and she's like, "Can you scan your ID for me so we can contact each other?" This is a normal thing. It's essentially like exchanging your ID, your socials.
Scanny, scan, scan.
Scanny, scan, scan. She's like, awesome. And then she does this like a flicking motion on her terminal, sends a file over to you, and you have an invoice for the 2 different services. The one is due immediately. The other is due in 3 weeks, with a note that that due date may change. So the one now you can just do. Do we have your income score set in here? Let's pull your character in real quick and see. Where is income on here? Income. You should have a 3. There we go. Okay. So if you open up your character sheet and you go to the equipment tab, you'll see income down at the bottom. See that?
Yes.
Okay, just roll that.
Is
And
it? Wait, did you just update it?
yeah, it says 3.
Oh, it doesn't say 3 for me. Hold on.
Oh, did you see the casino?
Okay, updated.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead and roll that.
It says item cost.
Yeah, so you're going to put in a 10. That's the target number. All right. So you are able to afford that the services. So no problem. You're secure the services for that info packet. Yeah. So she's like, she checks, waits for the payment to authorize, and she's like, oh, thank you so much for that. She's like, unless there's anything else, I guess I'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Goodbye.
She smiles a little and she's like, goodbye.
Luna then returns to the ship and waits.
I picture Luna sitting on her bed, knees and feet together, hands on her knees, staring at the wall.
That's probably what she's doing.
Jacob is dying. All right, Mark, are you there? Do you have your headset? Can you hear us? Alex is also supposed to be getting on any second now, though he's retweeting instead of joining us.
Are
Sorry
we
about
still
that.
planning on ending in like half an hour?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
honestly
I'm here.
I honestly thought things would go further, but you guys wanted to talk and investigate and stuff, so it's all good. All right. So we could go back to Johnny and Drake. Luna or Jen, I'll just leave your token here so you can see the casino. So you guys arrive at the hotel and casino, the new Fairmont Kelso Hotel and Casino. This casino on somewhere like, say, Ceres, certainly on Luna, on Titan, etc., would be kind of a middle of the tier hotel. But on somewhere like Kelso, this is upper class. This is probably the most expensive, or one of the most expensive places to stay. It's 3 stories, rising up from like a main thoroughfare. So there's like a kind of mixed commercial and residential thoroughfare that this faces, and it rises up. And so you have first floor is the lobby for the hotel. Second floor is the main casino floor, and then the third floor is like a bar club with like stage and everything like that. So Johnny and Drake kind of enter the door. There's a few steps up from the main hallway into the casino itself, and you can immediately see that you have a main room with some pachinko tables around. You've got some go-go tables in the back with some chairs around them. In the center is a stage. It's got a couple of dancers dancing on it. Unlike the cheaper, particularly Eros casinos that have a lot to do with either sex or violence, this one is far more tasteful. The dancers, male and female, not just female, happen to have their clothes on, and it's kind of halfway between a dance and halfway between a, I can't think of the right word, a contortionist show, like a circus. So they're putting on a little bit of a show. It's interesting to watch, at least for a couple minutes. You can see all the way around the main room. There are many doors leading to, like open doors, not closable doors, but open doors leading to game rooms around. Immediately to the left, when you enter, is the washrooms. Immediately to the right is a coat check and like a coat check security office with windows looking out on the floor. And then the rest of the stuff around the edge are different kinds of game rooms.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go try to find a good vantage point to kind of just scope out the whole. Let's see. See from here.
Hey, Alex. So this is actually a good time. Let me just fill in Alex real quick. So essentially, we did an interlude. They did some stuff on the ship. Luna was investigating all of you, so you should watch the VOD and see what she learned about your character. So you wouldn't know because your character wouldn't know, but just so you know. And then they've arrived at Kelso Station. You are aware that in 4 days, you guys have to go to the new Fairmont Kelso Hotel and Casino to meet for that initial meeting. Luna has gone off to do her own thing. We just finished role-playing that. Drake and Johnny are heading to the casino. Did you want to head to the casino with them, or did you want to do something else? Yeah, no problem. Tyler. All right. So there we go. Everyone should see the casino now. Where did Drake go?
Yeah. So I was moving towards where I was gonna say I'm trying to find a good vantage point, basically, for scoping the place out.
Okay. Well, where did your token go? Are you still dragging it or something?
No, it's by the bar, right here. Can I not ping? There it is.
I don't see. Oh, up there. Okay. Sorry, this is so bright. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah,
it's tough in the corner, so it's super hard to see them.
Yeah. Ideally, I'll either be here gambling. I don't know what the fuck this gambling is, or I'll be here. If they have gambling here, then I'll do that there too.
So the bar is like a straightforward bar. You can play like what would be the equivalent of like dollar trivia games if you want.
All right.
Not really gambling. They're just like they're the games for the people that don't want to gamble but say they gambled. Those tables are a belter game called Gogo, which essentially involves. It's kind of loosely described as essentially the one team that's in control for the round throws something down at the table relatively hard, and the defenders try to stop it from getting through to their side. So it's a quick round. Involves lots of energy and then lots of cheering and shit talking after the round is done.
Is there a game that doesn't involve that much effort? Like poker, blackjack style games?
Not in the main room.
Fuck off. That these ones too are the same way?
Yeah, these are just kind of like a mixed gambling table. So you can play like Go-Go or other stuff on them. The ones that have like the checkerboard, those are playing like a version of pachinko, a game version instead of like a pull version. The two tables with all the chairs around them, like these ones here. We could say that maybe one of them is playing like a card game. It's not as energetic as Go-Go.
Yeah. All right. There we go. That's where I'm at then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Drake goes and has a seat there. What do you guys do, Dreg and Johnny? Okay. Yeah. And Johnny?
I'm gonna sit at the table and watch the dancers and contortionists.
Okay.
Is this the thing where you would like tip them for their services, or
yeah?
is it just
there's
like...
in fact there's like a full on like there's a little panel for like tipping, ordering drinks, ordering food, everything right in front of you.
Yeah, and then I'm kind of gonna like while I'm walking over to the table, I'd like to kind of try and look around and see if there's anybody watching us more than casually.
Okay. All right. So we'll do a roll for that. That's going to be What's the best one for that? You're looking specifically, right? So let's do perception seeing or perception searching, your choice. And we'll give you 2 target numbers, 1 10 and 1 15.
All right.
So it's just one roll, but you'll get different information depending on which one you hit.
Yeah, perception seeing and perception. What was the other one?
Searching.
Perception seeing.
Okay. All right. So you both target numbers. Okay. So you go through, and one of the things you pick up on pretty quickly is that, well, this might be an upscale hotel. There is a criminal element here. You can immediately pick out a few different people that are there to lend money, handle, debt, and maybe even sell drugs or other illicit material, depending on what's going on. But you can kind of see them around. One at the bar. There's one a couple seats over to your left, and then there's one that was just you spotted heading over to the toilets. So that jumps out pretty quickly at you. The other thing that you catch is that there's someone sitting at in one of the rooms. It's actually the room, the top right room, that particular room doesn't have a direct door. You have to go in through one of the other rooms, but it has a glass wall that looks out onto the casino floor. And he's seated with his back to the far corner, so he's facing out towards the casino floor. And while he has people on his right and left, the chairs that would block the floor are empty and even kind of pushed away a little bit. So this is clearly like, don't sit in front of me, I want to watch the casino floor kind of deal. And he's looking out on the floor, and he's a Greek gentleman, it looks like. He's got curly, kind of moppy hair. Looks like he hasn't shaven for about 3 days, kind of like Drake in midway through a good bender. And he's wearing these green coveralls. And he's kind of playing the game that they're playing at the table. Maybe he's actively playing it. Maybe he's kind of playing it. But it's clear that he's also watching the floor while he plays.
Okay. Interesting. But he's nobody that jumps out at Johnny that he's seen in the past. Just someone to keep a note of.
Correct. Yeah, he doesn't recognize anyone beyond that. He just sees that stuff.
Awesome. Well, I'll order myself a drink from the table.
Okay. Are you ordering something to sip, something to get trashed on?
Something to sip.
Okay.
Like some sort of Belter whiskey that I can tolerate.
I hate OBS. I don't know why though. No, hold on. Let me. I'll take a look at it another time because we're almost done anyway. So I don't want to.
Yeah, no worries.
I don't want to get sidetracked on that. Okay, nice. So yeah, you'll get delivered a whiskey. It's made from like mushrooms and moss. Definitely not like earth whiskey, but it's something that you'll be used to if you drink whiskey. It's definitely typical Belter fare. Oh, no, you're showing. I don't know why it took so long, but good. All right. Drake, what's Drake doing?
Yeah, so he's gambling, like sitting here just kind of I don't know, what game am I playing? Poker?
It's like a futuristic card game. It's like, imagine, I don't know, like poker and like blackjack or something combined.
Fucking weird, but okay. So, he's hit me, whatever. He's mainly kind of casually casing the place, just reconning. He knows what to do. He knows how to do it.
Okay. All right. So let's same thing. Perception searching or perception seeing roll. I should mention too. I should have mentioned this. Now the map is gone. What are you doing, OBS? I hate you so much. Remember to check your talents and stuff like that. So sometimes you guys have talents that might affect your roll, so keep that in mind. But yeah, so perception.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see. Right.
So perception searching or perception seeing. Your choice.
Let me just check these real quick. Perception. Okay. Yeah, this is good. This is good. I'm glad you reminded me.
I think we need to pick that at some point, though.
Pick what?
Which skill you're going to apply that to. We'll talk after. It's fine.
What, the observation one?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you have to pick which perception skill you're going to apply it to. Which focus.
Oh. All right. Rolling. 9.
Okay. So you're looking around and you're like, this casino is the most well-run belt facility I've ever been in. There's nothing going on here. It is safe. I could leave my terminal unlocked with all my money available on the bar counter and I'd be safe. This place is great.
All right. Is any of my other training playing a role in this?
So first, just make just for this to see how your gambling is going. Okay. Just do an intelligence times 11 or against 11.
$14.
So Drake will win gambling but get mugged by everyone. Got it. So yeah, so your gambling's going pretty well. You're winning probably about 2 hands for every one that you lose. So you're making a little bit of cash and things are going okay. The other thing you can roll is actually do an intelligence tactics versus 10.
$14.
Yep. So looking around the casino that is impeccably well run and safe, the one thing you do think of is like, this is a great place for like a meet or an ambush. Like there's lots of lines of sight. There's lots of rooms to the side that let you look out onto the main floor in the entrance. It's easy if you wanted to find several different places with some privacy and good cover to be able to watch the entrance and see people coming and going. You could really, like, if you wanted to catch someone walking into this casino in some significant crossfire and just mess up their day, you probably couldn't build a set of rooms better suited than this particular casino. I mean, it's not even hard to look at the map and just see that. Like there's 6 or 7 rooms that all have line of sight on the doorway that you could have people hiding in and shooting from. So it's exceptionally easy to ambush people, but also it's just a really good place for a meeting. Again, you can see who's coming and going. There's privacy off to the side, but the ability to monitor what's going on in the room. It would be pretty hard to sneak up on a meeting that's happening because of the lines of sight. Someone can't really like sneak up on the door or like walk down the hallway. You could have a meeting and have really good privacy. So those two things stand out to you with regards to the room.
Hit me. Yeah. All right. Drake's just gonna quietly continue playing this game while just watching kind of the not just the place, but also the people, in particular the staff, and just try to keep in mind the faces and the routines and habits that the staff have, as well as what any regulars may look like, etc. Just trying to commit some of that to some very tactical brain.
All right, and Alex, what's Drake doing?
Dreg is drinking some Belter whiskey. Are there people at the bar next to me and stuff like that, or am I like sitting on my own?
Yeah, like I could put down a whole bunch of tokens, but let's assume that the main room probably has about 10 people. There's probably 3 or 4 people at the bar. A couple of the other
Okay.
tables are occupied. We've established there's at least one other person sitting watching the performance in the center with Johnny, and then several of the side rooms are occupied. So it's not full. It's earlier in the day, but there's a decent amount of people here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just slamming some Belter whiskey. I'm looking around the room and kind of keeping an eye on Drake and Johnny, just to see if there's gonna be any cues from them to get up and start doing something. Kind of
Okay.
keep an eye on Drake as he's gambling too.
See if you need some rescuing from all the bad hands.
Exactly.
Okay.
We'll see how these dice roll.
Okay. So give me, just like the other ones, give me a perception seeing or perception searching,
Sure.
whichever focus you might have.
Oof.
Okay.
Okay.
So like Drake, you're like, wow, this place is so safe and so well run. Like there's no one causing trouble. There's no hint of anyone bad here. Like this has got to be one of the safest places in the belt you've ever seen. Like, you know, the governor's office for this station is probably the only place safer, and maybe not even then, because you know maybe there's some people protecting this place. Like it's super safe. You're like, wow, yeah, this is super comfortable to hang out.
How do any of us survive in the belt? I don't understand.
Well, at least you're failing your role in the right place. I should remind you guys too. I probably should get in the habit of reminding you guys for some of this stuff. You have fortune points that you can spend if you want to risk it. So there is always that too.
Yeah, and then we have to figure out stunts and stuff later. I got
No. So spending your fortune point on a failed roll to turn it to a successful roll doesn't have anything to do with stunts.
No, I understand that, but
Yeah.
like I also forget about stunts and that they exist in general.
Yeah, like this isn't really the kind of situation. There's probably a few stunts that might apply, but this isn't like you're not in a true social situation where you're engaging with people. So the social stunts really wouldn't do anything because you're not persuading anyone right now or things like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, so you guys are just gonna continue on like that, just observing things.
Yeah. How much money do I make?
Not a ton. Like you're playing kind of like a side game almost. It's not one of the biggest draws. It's kind of like what you realize after a few minutes is the other 2 people that you're playing against are also inners, one Earth or one Mars. You guys have clearly shied away from the more belter games and tables where the bigger money is. If you don't want to play those games, you don't get to engage in those pots.
Well, maybe they didn't take so much damn energy. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll just after being there for maybe like an hour or two, I'll head back to the ship.
Okay.
I'll just kind of like try to catch Johnny's eye and kind of give
Okay.
him a
All right.
good
Well,
old signal.
before you get quite to that stage, let's just see if Mark or Alex want to do anything.
Is there a seat open to next to Drake now
Yep.
that I could go sit at his game?
Yep. There's two
Yep.
people with him and one seat open, so you can definitely go have a seat with him.
All right. Let's see here.
Hey,
I need glasses. I think I sat at the table there. All right, so I'm going to sit next to him in ways so that I can kind of lean over and say 3 o'clock. There's someone watching the floor. Just let you know, and I'll place a bet.
it's like the
So
floor
I'll just
boss,
kinda-
like her.
I think so.
Okay.
I think maybe I'm not sure. Not too sure because he's kind of playing, not playing, just mainly looking out that window. Over on the top right there. Yeah. I don't know if we should check him out, or do you think we should check him out, see what's going on, if we can find anything out, or if there's anything more to be sussed out there, or if you're okay with it, we could just head back. I
I don't know.
it's
This
up to you.
place seems pretty. Pretty safe. Just a lot of really good security and stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
he's just part of the. Maybe he's part of the security. Why did
there's
you do this, big
there's a criminal element that I've noticed around here. Did you see some of those seedier types that are mixing up
What?
in here?
Here? No way. Tell me more, Johnny.
Well, sometimes in the belt there are people that are doing criminal type things, and I'm not talking about present company excluded. I'm saying there's other people.
I thought we were the only ones. All right.
Oh my god.
So I'm gonna yeah, all right. Hey Johnny, you know what? I've been kind of trying to just get a feel for this place, the routines, everything, just mental mapping, the operations here and whatnot. From what I can really suss out here, though, this place has really good ambush potential, as well as it would be a good neat place as well for just somewhere quiet and nondescript. But it really can go either way. Like this is if I was wanting to set up a meet and greet that all I did was want to greet them with bullets, this would be it.
Uh-huh. So you're saying this place is both good and bad. I'm really loving, that insight that you're giving to us here, that this place would work great as a meat spot for us or not. So
Yeah.
that's a lot to think about.
Yeah. It really depends on where they want to meet us too. Like if they tell us they want to meet us like in the center of the room, in this main hall part, I don't really trust it.
Well, you got it's 6 of one, half a dozen the other, right? So if we're in the middle of the room here, meeting up in this main room, there's directions we can run and barricade off, or maybe have a shot at getting out. If we happen to be in one of the antechambers, we'll have a little bit more security. There'll be one point of entry for them to come after us, but we're also stuck in that room.
Thinking
if
that
anything
too.
goes real sideways.
Seen that too.
So I'm not sure.
Big old funnel of death. All right. So let's go see if we can have a chit chat with this gentleman that you're referring to.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I'm good at making friends.
Yeah, let's go make some friends.
So, as you guys are finishing this conversation, we have two similarly dressed belters. One comes and sits down facing Tyler, facing Drake, and just like staring at him. And the other sits down with Drake and Johnny. And the one that sits down with Drake and Johnny kind of leans back in his chair a little bit. And he says, I think that you guys got confused on where you want to be.
Why don't you enlighten us?
Well, I don't think that this is the kind of place for some interlotas.
Yeah. What kind of place is this?
Not the place for interlotas.
Right. What would you suggest then? What would you?
Well, again, not this place.
Right. So this is like a place for like people like you.
Yes, that's exactly what I just said.
Oh well, I mean we fit in just fine. We're both low lives.
You're not belters.
No.
Inners aren't welcome here.
Oh. Do you own the place?
Yes,
Oh, you do.
we do.
So what was it? Like, are there several people here besides you
Yes. Yes, there are.
that own the place?
Yes.
Okay. So the business tip that doesn't work very well in the long run. Too many chefs in the kitchen situation.
It's okay. We don't need a business advice from someone who can't keep his own ship.
I'm gonna start reaching for my gun slowly. You know who I am?
I mean, we checked your ID when you came in, yeah. Like above table, because you've been ordering, playing, etc. Right? Like they'll have your ID, right? Like so they can run a public records check on you, right? They're not doing anything particular nefarious there.
I went like for, and I was just like, like the motion just changed to the face. Right. Quick question here then. So you checked our IDs when you came in here. You didn't think that like maybe to stop us then? Like you were like, oh, let them sit down, have some drinks, get comfortable, and then I'm gonna go give them shit. That's how you operate.
We weren't waiting here for you, Koyo. We had to come.
You didn't come all the way just for me?
For the two of you and your friend, yeah.
Oh, I'm involved? I thought no, I thought I was fine here. I thought you were just talking to that guy.
The thug turns and like just stares at Johnny. He's like, "You got to be kidding me!" I said, "The two of you, are you stupid?"
He's old. All right.
I don't understand sometimes that thick belter accent of yours.
So he just like shakes his head a little bit. He's like, "Two of you interloaders and your well-wallow friend can take off." And before you can reply, another gentleman saunters up to the table. And when I say saunters, this guy is a bit of a peacock. He actually saunters up to the table.
Great.
He is exceptionally well groomed. It looks like, if you look, you wouldn't be surprised to find out he shaved to come and meet you, kind of deal, and like did his hair before he came out to meet you and put on a fresh shirt and jacket. Like, his personal care is immaculate. So
I'm going to make a comment on that. I'm particularly, like, he comes over, I'm just like, just
well, hold on. Let me describe him.
Savvy look.
He looks like he's got like some Indian background or maybe some Middle East background. He's definitely got some other mixes in there as well. His family's probably been in the belt for a generation or two, and there's some of that genetic mix. He's got long, slightly curly dark hair, very like chiseled jaw, full lips, dark eyes. He's wearing a blue dress shirt and then some sort of like purple or plum vest or jacket. And then on top of it, a blue jacket with like a high collar. It's popped up. It's got like yellow embroidery on it.
Amazing.
And he walks up to the table. He looks at the thug at the table and just waves him off. Just just this kind of backhand wave, like dismissive wave, like not disrespectful, but like, I've got this. And he sits down, he adjusts his pants, he crosses his legs, and he turns to Johnny, and he gives Johnny a big old smile and says, "Got your message, Johnny." And there's where we're going to end for today.
Oh, you fucking.
Damn.
I can